my group and I will be presenting to you our research question, which is, does being a lefty give the porcelain fidget crab euchre and ellipse an advantage over a righty in influencing the courtship behaviors? This is the outline of our presentation. I will be introducing our topic to you, and Sultan will be continuing with our methodology and how we conducted our study, followed by Faika, who will be presenting the results, and then Fatul, who will be explaining on our findings, and lastly, Suntar will be concluding our presentation for today. Okay, so fiddler crabs are small crabs, and the males have an enlarged pincer either on the right or on the left. They are found in sandy silty shores near the low water mark, which means that they are found near the low tides. And we have decided to conduct our study at the Pasir Ris Park Mangrove. So what is the purpose of our study? We have decided to study the relationship between handedness of the crabs and their courtship behaviors. We have referred to one of the literatures by Blackwell, which is the What Are the Consequences of Being Left-clawed in a predominantly right-clawed fiddler crabs. And we have done this because we wanted to study the comparison between humans and the differences between left-handedness and right-handedness. So now I will pass my time to Sultan, who will be continuing on the methodology of our study.
So what methodology did we use? We chose the method of focal sampling to observe one male and one female. We focused on the number of waves that the male waved at the female. So the wave was counted from down to up and back to down again, was considered as one wave. Although our focus was on the number of waves, we also measured the duration of the engagement between one male and one female. That was to be on the safe side. And we observed until there was an outcome. Next. So these were the three different kinds of outcomes. Number one was the favorable outcome, which was the success, where both the male and the female will go into the burrow. However, we also had two other failures, two kinds of failures as well, where the male stopped engaging and it moved away, or the third one was the female ran away, it wasn't interested in the male. We ran at different times of the day, where the tides were also different, and we wanted to observe how did that also affect the mating behavior of the fiddler crabs. So this was the table that we used to record the data. The number of waves, which was our primary focus. We also took the duration of the engagement, which was our second, used to be on the safe side. This was the different outcomes, the three different kind of outcomes, and other remarks that we observed as well. This data was collected over 12 hours during 6 trips. I hand over to Faika, who will explain more on the results of our observations.
Okay, so within the mangrove site, we counted and estimated the population, and we found out there was an approximate 40 males and 25 females. And within the males, there were 25 lefty and 15 righty, and the females were scattered across the site. So, and then we recorded our data based on the duration of interaction when the female was present. So let's look at the results. Okay, so you can see from this graph, the vertical axis represents the duration of interaction between the males and females. The blue graph represents the lefty fiddler crab, and the green represents the righty fiddler crabs. The duration of interaction for the lefty FF crab is about 10.5 minutes, and for FM lefty is about 9 minutes. Okay, and as for the righty, the duration of interaction for FF is about 7.15 minutes, and for FM is about 5.25 minutes. Okay, so overall there was no sign of any success outcome, and there were more failures than success, of course. And overall, on average, there were more. The attention span for lefty is definitely longer than righty. So now I'll hand over the time to Fatul, who will explain.
As for our discussion analysis, we find that there is no differences in the outcome of both the lefty and righty with respect to the outcome of the mating. So even though we can see that the number of lefty in that population was more than the righty, this does not have a significant effect towards the female towards their courtship behavior. So we can deduce that males and females have equal opportunity to mate with it lefty or righty. So we need to explore why this finding. So we can find a few factors, external factors that can affect this outcome, which is the first one, the size of the claw, where maybe the influence, it may have an influence towards courtship behavior and their waving frequency, even though we can see that there tends to be more frequency for the lefty towards the righty, but this doesn't affect the outcome of their courtship behavior. Thirdly, we didn't look on the boron location towards the place of interaction, which may affect the outcome or the influence on the female behavior. So as was discussed, waving frequency didn't have any effect towards the courtship behavior. Selected advantages or disadvantages of the lefty or righty are not it's not very conclusive towards our discussion. However, in humans, there is an advantage of being a lefty as explored in our studies, where they see that insularity gives the greater experience for the left-handed humans over the right-handed opponents. So thus, there's still more to be explored on this part. Now we hand over to Sun Tam, who will close up with our conclusions.
Okay. So as you can see, we do not have any data on actually mating success at all. So what we can conclude is that there is actually no significant difference whether it's a lefty or righty when it comes to mating at all. And what we realize is that this trend is actually in fact worthy of investigation, like what Fatu mentioned earlier, about the limitation of our project, as he mentioned about the size of claw, waving frequency, and also the burrow. The last one that we have to take into account is the duration of the tide as well. When we went to a low tide where it's just for 1 hour or 2 hours, we realized that they were not waving at all in order to attract mates. And however, during the spring tide, they were more active in terms of waving and trying to attract a mate. And so going back to the study as what Aisha mentioned earlier by Blackwell, which was a study based on a species called Usa vocans bomberis, and it's a more comprehensive study on a predominantly righty environment. But what we realized that according to this study also, it actually echoed similar results to our findings and our data as well. And so what we realize is that the preference in choosing a partner is indeed biased, and that despite being lefty or righty, their probability and the possibility of influence over a female is in fact still the same. And I guess what you can say that it takes two to tango, and that the relationship between an enlarged claw and courtship is indeed complex and complicated, meaning there are other factors to actually consider about. So I guess in conclusion, in simple words, we can say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. With that, thank you for listening.
And proceed to our Q&A session.